everybody, it's Becky from Icing on Top Becky's Cakes, and today I'm going to show you how I made this cake for my son's birthday. It's a super easy castle cake. I'm going to decorate it with buttercream icing using only one tip. I'm going to use this pastry cutout to cut out a bunch of circles for my towers, and it's about the size of a cupcake. So I know you're going to ask me already, can you use cupcakes instead? And yeah, you can. You just have to kind of trim the cupcakes, make sure they're level too, because as you can see, these ones aren't level yet either. So I'm going to cut out this circle, and then I am going to level it. So I just used half a sheet pan, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of these circles, and I'm going to stack them up for my towers. And see, it's not level, so we want to make sure that we level all of these circles before we use them for our towers. Otherwise, we'll have wonky towers. So after we level them, I'm going to cover them and freeze them because they're much easier to decorate when they're frozen. Now, my buttercream recipe is on my channel. This is just American buttercream, and I'm putting some blobs of darker gray into my lighter gray. And then I'm just gonna kind of fold these over, not mix it in, because I want it kind of marbled effect. And if you want a more extreme marbled effect, you can use an even darker gray buttercream when you fold this in. But I'm just gonna fold these gently in. Don't wanna mix it. And then I'm gonna put it right in my bag. And the only piping tip we are using today is a large round piping tip. And you can do this with any round piping tip, but I used a really large one because then less work if you do use a larger one. This is a 6-inch square cake pan. I used 2 cake pans, and I realized I used different brands, so they were a little different, but that's okay because we are piping, so it's very forgiving. And then I used a 5-inch round. You could use a 4-inch round if you want a bigger difference. And then I used supports, which is smoothie straws, and then a cardboard cake circle. And the reason I need these supports is because I'm going to put a very heavy dragon on top. So you don't need these supports if you're not using the heavy dragon on top, but it does help hold everything together if you do use the smoothie straws. And if you want to see a full tutorial on how to stack and support cakes, I can put that link down there in the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and, after I cut this circle in my cardboard, that is so that my dragon has somewhere to go. So I'm marking that off. And then I'm going to put an off-center tower on here. And this tower is going to be to one side, and I'm just going to stack that up right here. And then I'm going to use the wooden skewer to kind of hold these in place, because otherwise they're going to like move all over on you when you're trying to pipe on them. So I'm going to use a wooden skewer on all of my towers. So I'm going to give it a layer of buttercream and then hold it in place with a wooden skewer. And here's a stack of 3. I'm going to put that wooden skewer down in them, and then I'm going to press that skewer into my cake drum. Foam cake drum underneath, so that works really great. And then I just mark it, score it with my scissors, and twist that off. So now they're all held in place. So you can kind of see the marbling effect in my bag. And so what we're going to do is really, really easy technique of piping a dot of buttercream, and then in the center of it, you press and pull to the right. So about in the center, press and pull. Just let that buttercream build, and then you release the pressure and then do the press and pull. And then I noticed while I was doing this over here, I have my youngest child in the background sneaking cake scraps. And yeah, if you it's very distracting, but yeah, there she is in the background helping herself. Thankfully, she's actually using a fork, so she decided if she's gonna steal, she's gonna do it right. So anyway, but if you've seen the Rapunzel tower cake, I did the same kind of technique on that one with this buttercream, but it's also more advanced. So I used, I actually covered the cones with other kind of buttercream and other tips and did ivy and stuff. So if you're looking for something more advanced, check out the Rapunzel tower cake. I'll put that link down below. But then here I just use these sugar cones. That's going to be the top for these. I'm not going to decorate them because I'm showing you the most simple way to do this. And so we're just going to place those cones there. I'm also going to cut a cone for the drawbridge as well, and that's going to go out front. And then I'm going to use these little sugar type of cubes. They're called Warhead gummies. They're like little cubes. So they made a really great stone border around the top. And so I'm just going to use those because we are using the easiest technique here. And my camera's a little tilted on these, so I'm sorry about that. The cake is not actually tilted, it's my camera, but I'll try to fix it at the end. Here's my sugar dragon, and you can check out that tutorial if you want, or you can just use a toy and stick that on top. But this giant sugar dragon is a great lollipop. My son quite enjoyed this, so we're gonna aim for that. That's a little hole that we'd left in the cardboard circle, and we're gonna press the dragon all the way down so that it is resting on that cake board. And it's not gonna smush my cakes because it is supported on that cake board. And that's why we needed those supports. Whenever you put something heavy on a cake and you don't want your whole cake to be smushed in, you need supports. And so there he is resting on there. That is the super easy castle cake. And if you want to more advanced techniques, check out the Rapunzel Tower. And yeah, this was a real easy thing to make for my son, and he was quite pleased with it. And I was pleased because I had less time. So this worked out great for both of us. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please subscribe to my channel.